It feels like it's been a long time since I picked up the camera. Like, it feels like a month, but I only took the last 2 days off, and I have to say it felt good to just refocus, reset on everything. And today we've got a lot of work to get done on that crappy Mini Cooper you see behind me. We've already got my Starbucks with the double shot espresso in there. And that aside, before we get into the video, first, check out my Waffle House hat. Finally managed to get myself one of these. Second, merch. I have everything right now on the online store, heavily discount and on sale for this week and this week only. So if you missed your chance to get some, now would be the perfect time. Everything goes back to normal pricing at the end of this week. And the reason for that is I'm trying to do a bit of a sale for you guys, because if you order something this week, it will arrive roughly around Christmas with the current COVID shipping delays for people in the States and whatnot. So jump on it while you still can. Once again, SAMMIT.net, everything is heavily discounted, and get yourself some cool shirts like, I don't know if this will show you, but like this cool Skyline one. There's only limited amounts left as well. Now that aside, figured we'd take a quick squiz at the Evo. It's been a while. She's chilling on this side, so it means that like a lot of like the tree stuff doesn't fall on it, but hopefully we get news on the shop today or tomorrow, and we'll know whether or not we'll have that space. But yeah, things haven't really changed that much here. There's a few different cars and whatnot, but like I said, we're going to be working on the Mini today. So I'm going to move this thing out of here, get it down next to the Skyline, jack it up, and start replacing parts. I am not going to lie, I completely forgot how much it smells like cigarettes in this thing. Where does the key go? Up there. Wait. Come on, you can start. There she goes. All right. Oh, she stalled. Oh, man. All right, now we're good. I think that's related to the cam angle sensor, or the O2 sensor on the thing failed. I think we'll make that with flying colors past that little roadster. Not bad. There we go. Some clean cars here. All right. Huh. That's interesting. I thought they were wheel nuts, not actual like studs. First time having a car that actually has this instead of the nuts. Interesting. That's a BMW thing, right? So weird. I mean, it's not weird, it's just weird to me. Alright. So we have to get this off. So this is the lower control arm on this side that's completely screwed. Well, the control arm's fine, it's just the bush, hopefully. We're going to start pulling all of that off. We got the thing on jack stands, I've got that tire under there just in case as well. So we should be ready to start digging into it. And here are all the parts that I got shipped over from the States. Pretty much just all the engine mounts this thing needs. We got the lower control arm, bushes and mounts all in one piece. I got that cam sensor here. And yeah, pretty much all the different kinds of mounts for the engine too. I'm going to replace only what's broken. That way I can still try to recoup some money. Like, I'll list the other ones up here that I don't use, on like Yahoo auctions and stuff here in Japan. So I'm sure they're parts that people want for these. So anyways, my plan, I think what I'm going to do is flip this thing. So I'm just going to fix it up, and then we're going to see how much money we can get for it. And that way we can kind of like use that money to then get something even better, hopefully like an RX-8 or something. That would be my plan. So for now, I'm going to get under there, try and undo that lower control arm and see what we're dealing with, and get that switched out, and then we'll do the engine mount and the cam sensor. And then I need to figure out what O2 sensors are in this thing, because I do have a spare one actually here that may work if it's the right plug and everything. But if not, then we'll have to order that one as well. But that's pretty much everything wrong with it. It doesn't have aircon, so I do want to check what's the go with that. Then we'll send it off and get shuck in, and then this thing will should probably get me, like, I would say around $2,000 roughly at auctions, or we may even be able to sell it privately on like Yahoo auctions as well. So we'll find out. So this is the bush here that I need to change, and it seems like I have to drop the entire front subframe just to be able to undo this and completely replace it. which is way more work than I was anticipating. That's what it looks like to me. I'm going to just quickly do some research and maybe watch a YouTube video and see if there's anyone's covered this. But essentially this entire frame here that connects to like the front bumper and stuff, it's got bolting points everywhere. I would have to try to put something like a jack stand on the bottom of the engine to support that, and then use a jack to lower the entire thing just to be able to undo those, which is kind of mental. Now I have started like loosening things up, but I'm going to stop right now and just quickly YouTube search or Google search and see if there's any like how-to guides and stuff on how to replace this. But honestly, I don't see any other way to do it. So I think we're going to be dropping the whole front subframe today, which is kind of just insane to think about, that you have to do that just to replace one front control arm bush, which is just stupid in my opinion. So after a bit of research, 100% have to drop the front subframe. I'm glad I found a video on it though, because now I know how to do it as quickly as possible and without having any difficulties or, you know, problems and whatnot. So I've already started working on it. I've disconnected the lower control arm from the knuckle, as well as the power steering rack. Well, on this side I actually put it in a tiny bit just so it could hold it out of the way for me. So we've got that there. I've done the other side now too. So that's all disconnected there, ready to roll. Lower control arm as well. It took a little bit of time to get these off. It looks like these have never been taken off before, which explains why the mounts are so busted. Also, this mount is broken as well. I had a good look at it just before and that's damaged too. So other things we need to do is we need to like just make sure that this cable here is loosened and disconnected from the subframe here. There we go. So just pull that out of the plug. So that means when we lower the subframe, it's not going to pull the ABS wire out. I have to now undo all the bolts under here, and I need to undo the power steering reservoir bolt here so that that's loose, because that comes down with the subframe, because the power steering rack is connected to the subframe. So you kind of want to pull that all out without having to disconnect anything. And the beauty of it is because this is electric power steering, the pump is actually combined with the rack. So what that means is I can just unplug the pump, the power cables going to it, and then the whole thing can come out together with the reservoir, and I don't have to deal with the pump or lines or fluids going anywhere whatsoever. Now, unfortunately, I had a bit of a late start today. So if you can see behind me, there's a beautiful sunset kind of happening, and that means it's about to get dark very, very soon. So I'm gonna try and do as much as I can right now, and hopefully I'll get this thing at least dropped or ready to drop, and I'm going to come back super early tomorrow morning and finish this thing off. And then once that's all back in there, we'll do the top engine mount that's damaged. I'm also going to replace the bottom engine mount. While we've got it out, we might as well, and just get this thing all fixed and finished by tomorrow, and we should be good. So this will continue on into tomorrow's vlog. But yeah, man, it feels good to be working on a car again. Although, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous about working on this thing, but it looks like it's gonna be pretty straightforward, especially since I found all those like videos and information on what I need to do. So not too bad so far. I'm gonna get to removing the front bumper right now, because that's something you have to do as well, and we'll get straight into it. So other than this thing like having like weird nut sizes and bolt sizes and stuff for like the sockets, it's really like pretty easy to pull apart, especially when you've got instructions and know what you're doing. Like this bumper came off way faster than I was expecting it to. So now that's off. So next step, I think the bolts under the subframe. Oh, I need to disconnect the power steering pump. And I need to undo the steering column, which you can get to from the top. Yeah, I see it there, which is a nylon locking washer as well. So I don't have any self-ratcheting spanners yet. I need to invest in those. I'll probably buy some tonight. But just like, it's got weird sizes on the nuts and bolts, literally like 13s, 16s, 18s. It's not all the generic like 14s, 12s, and you know, like 17 and 19. It's just, I don't know, I guess because it's European, this is kind of normal. And then of course you got the Torx bit bolts as well, which are like holding bumpers and lights and stuff in, which luckily this kit has some Torx bits in them, so I was able to use that to get a lot of the stuff off. But it's really like, it comes apart pretty fast, quite frankly. I'm really impressed. Look at that, it took me like probably a minute to get this bolt out, just for the for the steering column that connects to the rack. That was very, very easy. I'm happy about that. Now we've got to undo the fan. There's like a little cooling electric computer fan under there that literally sprays, like flows air onto the power steering rack and pump. So I've got to remove that, and then I also need to unplug all the electrical plugs that connect to that pump. So I'm going to do that and then undo some bolts towards the rear of the car. Then the subframe essentially then has 4 bolts that I then need to undo to then lower the entire thing, and then we'll have the subframe down and out. It is starting to get pretty dark really fast at this point, so what I might do is undo everything, so all I have to do is pull it out tomorrow with those 4 bolts, and then we'll pick it up from there. But I'm going to try and smash out as much more as I can while it's still fresh. Here's that computer fan I was talking to you about. This literally goes under and just blows cold air on the power steering pump. Literally looks like something that came out of like a Dell PowerEdge server. Alright, lower engine mount has been removed, so now the engine is freely sitting there. And yeah, I'm glad I bought all those extra mounts because this is shot as well, which I'm not surprised about. So we got this there, which now means the subframe is completely disconnected from the engine. So pretty much we can drop it now. Oh, I nearly forgot, we have to do that top power steering reservoir. Then should be. Can't stress this enough, guys. When you're working on cars, get yourself one of these magnetic trays. They will save your life. I always put my nuts and bolts in there, and I've never lost anything that I put in here because it just sticks it in there. Look, nothing falls out. Best thing ever. Time warping ahead, things escalated a bit quickly and got dark. But I was just hanging out with a friend and chatting. So everything's all locked up now. Minnie's just chilling, waiting for tomorrow morning, as you can see through there. If you can, it's pretty dark. I'm gonna actually head to Up Garage now because I want to see if they have any tires and wheels. Mainly just tires. I don't need wheels, but I want to see if they have any tires and the specs for the Mini because we got to replace those 2 front bald ones. So I wanted to check that, and then obviously I'm always on the wheel hunt for sizes for the S15 and the Skyline, so we'll see what we can find. But overall, I haven't been there in like 3 weeks, I think, so time for a little checkup and see what they've got in stock. Man, it has really been a while since I was last here. I'm pumped. See what we can find. So I'm just in the wheel section here at Up Garage looking at all their secondhand tires. I did find one single R16 up here, but I think this is a bit too big for what we have there. Like, this is $30 and it's a 205/60 R16. I don't remember what the tires on the Mini were, if they were 205. I think they were probably like 195. So I'll have to double check tomorrow. But if for some reason this is identically the same size, I might just get that for the side that's worn. That would be like really cheap, but obviously it would be more ideal to find a pair. So I'm just going through and seeing what they have. Unfortunately, a lot of the secondhand tires here are kind of expensive. Here's a good example. These wouldn't be too bad for the Mini. It's a set of 4 195/50 R16. And as you can see, like, these have been used a fair bit, but there is still a fair bit of tread left on them. Like, if we look at the tabs here, it's about 5 mil left. They're selling this for over $300 for a set of 4, and they are the Advan Sport V1050Es though, so they normally are a pretty expensive tire, but these are pretty hard and stiff. In fact, what year were these made? It's hard to see. Where's the marking here? It'd be here somewhere, which tells you what year it was. I think it's here, 2018. So these are pretty old tires. So I'm just gonna keep looking and see if I can find a pair anywhere of R16s. It is like, it's not really a super popular size. R15 and obviously 17s would be a lot more common. But yeah, I'll double check that wheel size tomorrow and then we'll find out for sure. But it'd be kind of funny if I could actually get this one single one over here for $30. That'd be like crazy cheap and save me a lot. Yeah, so they didn't have anything else there for pairs of 2. Only pairs of 4, lots of pairs of 4. But yeah, hopefully we'll be super lucky and that one single tire is the identical size of everything else in the car. Anyways, Time to walk into the main section here, which they've reorganized and changed a bunch. I like this. Exhaust and coilovers on this side now. That's really cool. Ooh, they changed the brake and clutch section too. Damn, you go away. I haven't been here in like 3-4 weeks. I dig this a lot. This is way better. Huh. I like this layout way more now. Oof, those AP racing brakes. Anyone got 2.2K? You want some sick brakes for your BRZ or your GT86? It's a lot of money. I guess if you're into time attack and grip, that's probably good. And every other section kind of seems the same. Let's see if there's any good parts here. I'm actually probably, if I find a good condition JZX 100 turbo, I probably am going to buy it just as a spare for mine at Ebisu. I don't see anything. Whoa, what is this? JM Turbo, 420 bucks. What the hell is a J? What is JM Turbo for a CT9A? It's a 4G63 turbo, right? It's only $400. Is this like a cheap China turbo? It looks like it, hey. Interesting. No badges or anything on the core itself. So it probably is like a cheap China turbo. For an Evo, man, I'm kind of bummed, but also like intrigued by this. There you go, 420 bucks for this JM turbo. That's why it's probably so cheap, $400. It's probably just a eBay China turbo. Interesting. Alright, well, I don't see any JZX 100 turbos anywhere. Bit of a bummer. But if I do find one, we're definitely going to pick one up. Just for a spare to keep in the trunk of my car at Ebisu. Because you never know when that thing's going to pop. I am pushing one bar out of it, and while that's generally safe, they do have a habit of sometimes popping around there if they constantly get a lot of abuse. So it's better to be safe than sorry. That's 180SX turbo, an exhaust manifold. Another 180SX turbo there. Another 180SX turbo. A lot of S13 turbos, the smaller ones. You want the S14 ones. 260RS twins. Shaft play. This little tiny guy is so cute. There's another really small one here. Look at this tiny thing. So cute. They'd go well on like a motorbike or something. Where's this thing from? It's a Toyota one. Electronic like actuator and stuff on it. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, nothing really here that I need. But still, it's always good to see what they've got. Let's keep going through, see if we find anything else interesting. There wasn't really much more there to look at, but I did walk out buying a silicon reducer coupler because I noticed my front bumper previously had been rubbing on the coupler before I cut it, and it's just been like it just looks really bad. I know it's not leaking, but right there it's hard to see, but there's a big tear in it, and it hasn't gone all the way through, but it's cut through the first couple layers, so I figured I'd get it one to replace it with anyways, so doesn't hurt to be prepared. Definitely didn't get started on the Evo as early as I had hoped. There's just so much I'm doing behind the scenes right now, catching up after the last couple of days off. But with that aside, we're jumping into the week and going full steam ahead, so should have some really good content out in the next few days. By the way, guys, don't forget, SAMMIT.net, get yourself some merch. This air freshener is one of the really cool items we have on there if my camera ever wants to focus on it. Definitely get it. This is the Evo, by the way, and save the legends, hence we're going to save the car and bring it back from the dead. Also, I use my steering wheel hanger now as my mask hanger because here in Japan we need masks whenever we're out in public and going into shops and things like that. I'm sure you guys are pretty much the same everywhere else in the world. Anyways, I'm going to head home and we'll pick it up from there. I definitely enjoyed my day today. Being able to just work on a car and get back into the swing of things. It just felt good, especially after taking a couple of days off. I'm not gonna lie, I had to like force myself to take time off just because like while I was not working or not filming, it just felt so foreign to me because I was just so used to always picking up the camera and talking to you guys. It's not necessarily a bad thing or anything. It was just like I knew I needed to just rest and relax and recoup some energy, especially with all the late nights and all the like long drives I was doing in the last couple of weeks, like with driving up to Episu Circuit and things like that. Like sleep just wasn't a priority for me, so I really needed some time to just rest. And I know a lot of you guys were commenting and checking up and trying to work out what was going on and where I was, because I never really like kind of told anyone, except for you guys on Twitter. You guys knew what was up because Twitter is where I update everyone first these days. So if you're not following me on Twitter, definitely do that. But for now guys, I'm gonna head off. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing and all that jazz. Make sure you go check out the SAMMIT merch. Sale ends at the end of this week. Don't miss out. Don't sleep on it. And I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. Peace out. Ciao mata.